Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Did you know I have a Patreon? You can go over there and support the channel. Now onto the stories. Case file number 908, written by RudolfFerengi. The Nexus, a multiversal diner. We're in a large group, over a dozen people in 4 cars, on a road trip from Oregon heading across the country to New York. Along the way, we usually stop off at diners to grab a quick and most delicious meal. We plan this out ahead of time via Google Maps. I'm in the rear of the group, in a small town, a few minutes behind the others. Driving by a diner, I noticed my best friend's car was parked in the driving lot. I was a bit annoyed as we had not agreed to stop for at least another hour, to coordinate and decide where we'll eat lunch and eventually sleep for the night. I pull off and into the parking lot, then go inside. Friend is there, not ordered yet. I joined Josh, was him and his girlfriend, and asked, "Hey, why did you guys stop? We were going to continue for another hour, I thought." His girlfriend responded, "We were hungry," and I was nagging him, so he obliged me. We all laugh. I sit down and order with them, realizing I'm famished too. Breakfast was only 2 hours before, and I like to eat. We eat and hit the road quickly after. I had texted in the diner to the group ahead letting them know me and Josh were just eating, so they had presumably stopped to eat somewhere else further down too as a result. They never replied, so I just kept on going. I kept driving to our pre-agreed upon pit stop. Everyone was up ahead waiting there for me. When I pulled in and got out of the car, they were all asking me, "What the hell? Where have you been? Why didn't you answer any texts or calls?" They'd been waiting in that spot for 30 minutes. Here is the real gut punch. Josh and his girlfriend were the first ones to say this to me, but they're the ones I sat down with to eat in that diner. Apparently they never made a stop in any diner. Not today, anyways. None of the group had. So who the hell did I eat lunch with? Also, the texts I had sent to the group while in the diner, they showed on my phone as having been sent, but they never went through until a few minutes before meeting up with the group. Another dose of confusion for everyone. I also received their texts, but only a few minutes earlier, and I didn't check them while driving. Best to practice safe driving, right? Case notes for file 908, the Multiversal Diner. Placing myself on this road trip, which I want to take road trips, a whole bunch of them coming up. Maybe this year, next year, we'll see, on a motorcycle. But placing myself in that position, you stop at a diner and you're interacting with your friend. Well, and his girlfriend too. How disorienting would that be? Are they trying to gaslight you? Is this some weird prank? A lot of these glitches could be pranks in a certain sense, but unless they're revealed to be so, it's just malice, it's just mean. I don't think your friends would do that to you. I don't know them, obviously, so that'd be something you'd have to know. But still, I have to discount that this is a prank, especially if they didn't tell you. And hell, even if they had intended to be a prank, I don't think it could be, because of the text. The SIM cards are encrypted with specific codes, and I think they would differ by parallel universe. They're so hyper-specific. You couldn't just bring a phone into a new universe, and even if it's almost identical, there'd be slight differences, including the random encryption used for a SIM card. Otherwise, people could just intercept people's data and text messages and calls and so on. The fact that the text messages didn't go through to your friends or to you until a couple minutes or a few minutes before you actually met them, to me means that they weren't connected in the same universe. The phone simply wasn't registering them. It's curious because this isn't universal peering. This is a step beyond it. It seems like you were actually occupying an actual different parallel universe. Without quantum immortality, your whole body went there, including your phone. So it wasn't just your soul. I don't know how that happens. I mean, maybe a wormhole? It's like in SG-1 where Daniel touches the quantum mirror and is just transposed to a new universe entirely. I mean, that should be quantum immortality, but in those cases, it's just the soul. When the physical body dies in one universe, then it's moved over. The soul just hops to a different host in a certain sense. Like a Gua'uld inhabiting a different body. Needless to say, you were in a different universe. That is my gut instinct here because of how the text messages interacted. How you got there, I don't know. Maybe a wormhole? There's plenty of them all over the place that carry us forward in space-time, but I guess to a new parallel universe? Why not? Case file number 909, written by potatogoatmystery. The mystery of a respawning tire cap. I can't stop thinking about what occurred today. When I went to check the driver's side tire's air pressure 3 months ago, I discovered that the tire cap was gone. Although it's entirely feasible, I didn't think they would forget the cap because I had just recently purchased this automobile from a dealership, and the individuals who were parking next to me at the time were quite volatile. Since they had previously dropped glass on purpose in my parking area, I simply believe that they had taken the tire cap to play me for a fool at the time. I didn't really give my new tire cap much thought, except for the fact that my neighbors are terrible. I received a notification today indicating my tire pressure was low, so I stopped at a gas station I'd never gone to before on the way home from work. The driver's seat tire is the first one I check, and it is low. I next check the other tires just in case. I take care not to put the caps on the ground because I don't want to lose them. Instead, I merely hold them in my hand. My keys and tire pressure checker fell to the ground after I'd paid for the air pump. When I picked up the tire pressure checker again, I noticed that the dial arrow had come off and was now loose and rolling around the face. I estimated how much air I thought I needed, and shrugged off the broken pressure checker because it was a cheap plastic thing that didn't cost very much anyways. As I'm shaking it around trying to figure out how the dial fell off, I noticed that I still have a tire cap in my left hand. I assumed that I just forgot to recap one of the tires, but all of them had caps, all of them. I checked and rechecked all of my tires and caps, and the crazy part is that the tire cap I was inexplicably holding in my hand matched the others. It was the missing cap from 3 months ago. But what really makes it a glitch is that I never touched the missing tire cap in the first place. I just noticed it was gone. I've never been to that gas station before, and I never picked anything up off the ground until I picked up my keys. Could I have possibly picked up someone else's missing tire cap subconsciously? I wanted to vacuum my car, so I cleared out some trash and looked around for some quarters. Could I have found it and held it in my hand without realizing? It's possible, but it doesn't really seem likely. What's tripping me out is the fact that the dial broke right before I noticed the tire cap in my hand again. It gave me chills. Case notes are file 909, the mystery of the respawning tire cap. Well, assuming you had bought a new tire cap to replace the one that was lost mysteriously, then yeah, this would be quite a weird glitch because it seems like it duplicated itself. It is possible that somehow it wound up in your car, like you said you were fishing for change or something, cleaning out the car seat. Maybe it was in there and you just didn't realize you picked it up. I wouldn't discount that as a possibility, but otherwise it's just a simple disappearing act and then re-render. Happens all the time. It's really such a simple, innocuous glitch, and yet people ignore them. I think it happens so frequently, but people just don't want to acknowledge it. They just discount it. They say, oh, it's my mind playing tricks on myself. No, I don't believe so. I think the universe is very weird, and a little unstable. At least this one. Bonus file, written by OKStar8815. The Monster of Pure Darkness. It's been about a year since my husband and I had an encounter with this tall, mysterious creature, but I haven't been able to let go since it's been plaguing my dreams and keeping me from being outside at night. So I thought I'd share it here in hopes that anyone might have similar stories or encounters. It was the middle of winter, and everything was powdered and white. Life had gotten quite slow, so my husband and I decided to take our 2 small children to his parents' house to enjoy a date night together. My in-laws live only 4 blocks away from us on the very bottom of a mountain in Utah County, so it wasn't a far drive. It was around 4 in the evening when we left our kids with my in-laws, and we had only planned to pick up some sushi and head back home. By the time we were done and back in my in-laws, it was around 5:45 in the evening. The sun was shining brightly, but was about to make its way out for the night. We gathered up the kids, put their coats on, and headed out to the car. My father-in-law and 19-year-old brother-in-law walked out with us to say goodbye to the kids. As we were buckling them into their seats, we heard this horrendous noise. It sounded like a woman crying, a child laughing, and a bird cawing all at the same time. My father-in-law looked at me and said, "Are you hearing this?" My husband said, "Yes, you heard that too?" My brother-in-law mentioned he could hear it too. He just stood there silent, trying to dissect whatever the sound was and where it was coming from. And then I heard my father-in-law say, "Look on the mountain." About 100 yards away, he was pointing skyward. To get a better look, I swiftly removed my spectacles from my head, and sure enough, there it was. Over a bush, something large and black was crouching. We silently watched and listened to its cries. My father-in-law yelled, "I'm getting my binoculars," and then turned to leave for the home. The thing made an agonizingly quiet stop before slowly standing up and turning to face us. It was an 8 to 9 foot tall, all-black beast that was long and lean. A man's body, yet it is excessively long and slender. He would have passed his knees if not for the length of his arms. He had no facial features, no nose, no eyes, just darkness. We collectively stood in silence, staring at each other and the thing. About 15 seconds had passed and it began to quickly float up the mountain. I'm not talking float as in it was so fast you couldn't see its legs. I'm talking literally floating up the mountain. My husband describes it at about 20 miles per hour in speed. It wasn't long before he had completely dissipated into the tip of the mountain. I will never forget that day, and I have not seen one since. Hope to never see one ever again. Case notes for the bonus file. The monster of pure darkness. These sightings of very tall, slender, faceless creatures, the Indians call them stick Indians. There's sightings of this in Australia, all over the world. So it's not located purely in the Americas. Wonder what they are? Some type of human that evolved separately? Seems unlikely. It takes so long for that to happen. Different species altogether? Aliens? I mean, I like the aliens part. Maybe we'll never know, but I guess that's kinda fun. Keeps the mystery alive, which, what's life without mystery, right? And my notes have ended. This is the first video for 2023. Pretty cool. I'm excited for this year. It's gonna be awesome. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe, hit the bell, get all video notifications, because you know you want them. See you tomorrow.